So, uh, sorry. Interesting day. Got Karen. Pretty much almost had the cops called on me for doing my job. And trying to be about as nonchalant as possible, but I want people to understand something about that. Most of y'all that'll watch this probably never leave the house worrying about that sort of thing happening. I do. Not every day, but a lot. And today was one of those days where it made me realize just where the fuck this country's at, man. I mean, I've already had my fair share of experiences in the last two and a half ish years living here in Tucson. It's been quite the adventure, but I really need y'all to understand something. When a person is doing their job and you want to accuse them of having done something, like you threw something over into my yard or whatever the case may be. In this particular case, I spray for mosquitoes and bugs and such. It was a pretty windy day, so for my fellow Tucsonans, you know what I'm talking about. It was a pretty windy day today. So we have sprayers, backpack sprayers and shit that spray the stuff, pretty good stream. Usually, when we do spray, we concentrate on canopies. This particular case, canopy of this particular tree happened to be overhanging into the customer's side yard. So I happened to spray that part of the canopy. Now, again, taking into account, I should say, it's windy, still a little bit of a breeze going on right now, so that can be certified. And the fact that I'm spraying into a part of the tree, going back to what I was saying, spraying into a part of the tree that was in my customer's yard, I am within my grounds, or within my right to spray that part of the tree. Now, this is where it gets fun, because as soon as everything is done, I'm already set, everything is packed up, ready to go. Now, I pointed out that I didn't point this out in the video, but I pointed it out on one of my tweets, we wear body cams. And the reason why is for that kind of shit. Unfortunately, at this point, I was not wearing my body cam, because usually I keep it on the strap of my backpack blower. So in this particular case, I kept it on there. My dispatcher later let me know that it was recording audio, which is fantastic, because it gives me plenty of evidence in case this lady decides she wants to go psycho again. But the fact that this woman stormed out of her house and I was being extremely polite, I was like, "Oh, yes, ma'am, what can I help you with?" And she decides that she wants to go off. One second, I had to stop for a minute. So, the fact this lady, because that's where I left off, this lady decides to come storming out of her house with her phone up, camera side towards me, pretty much saying, "I was recording you this whole time and you were spraying illegal pesticides into my yard and blah 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 onto my tree." And at this point, I'm just kind of looking at her like, okay, like that's really not the way to go about this. I'm being civil. I'm kind of letting her, letting her vent. And at this point, she decides to call me a stupid motherfucker, decides to call my company a worthless pile of shit, and then proceeds to say that I am going to call the police on you. And that's kind of where everything froze. Like it literally felt like that moment right before Q pops up, for all my Star Trek fans out there. Like that moment right before Q pops up where he fucks with the space-time continuum, freezes everything, and all of a sudden you're looking around and you're like, oh god, like what do you want? But in that particular moment, I'm just trying to lighten it, but in that particular moment, all I could think about was my kids. My wife. Our new baby that's coming. My pup. Bernie. My boy. I'm gonna ask y'all. This goes to you, white America. Stop this nonsense. Stop this nonsense of threatening to call the cops on people for the most absurd fucking reasons. All I was doing was my job. If you had a grievance, you literally could have said, hey, could you just be more careful? You didn't have to go all this way and then threaten to have the cops called for a man doing his job. And then white America, y'all gotta stop this. Y'all gotta stop this. Too many good men and women are dying because of your hidden biases and prejudices towards people. Like, y'all don't even realize it. And I know that most of y'all don't realize it in the moment, but I need y'all to start realizing it. Because you're costing good people their lives. It seems to me like in this particular case, this woman does not pay attention to shit. And since she don't pay attention to shit, I want y'all to pay attention to shit. And I want y'all to get through to a lot of your family members that you know are like that. And I want you to stop and sit down and think for yourself if you've ever had that moment where you've thought about doing that to somebody of a particular race or particular skin color, belief, whatever. Because I guarantee you the question I asked earlier about how many times do y'all have to stop and think about whether you're going to come home or not, because this kind of shit can happen. How many times do y'all have to think about that? Because this is every day for a lot of us. This is every day. And I am pointing at you, white America. I'm pointing at all of you right now. And I'm asking you, you want to call yourself an ally, you want to call yourself this, think about that question first. Do you ever feel threatened when you walk out the door? Because I understand that, yes, there's a lot of white folks that are LGBTQ+, and a lot of white women. And I need y'all to understand something. We're all on the same fucking boat. Knock this shit the fuck off. Because you're gonna get a lot more than just yourself fucking hurt. Because while I'm out here trying to fucking defend myself from this kind of bullshit, and I know that some of y'all are gonna try to sit here and defend it or whatever, because this lady wanted to come out like she was an eco warrior, and that's my thing. That's where I'm getting at. Is that I need all of you to realize, I don't care what your beliefs are or whatever, if you can't see beyond your own whiteness, then you need to sit down and fucking do some serious thinking. Because let me reiterate one more time, you are costing people their lives for no fucking reason other than their existence. Stop threatening to call the cops on people. Stop threatening to call the cops on minorities, especially. There's a lot of fucking shit going on that we should actually be more in tune and more together about. But with this kind of rampant bullshit running around, nothing's going to get solved. So that's why I'm calling it out. And I'm going to call everybody out at this point, and I'm going to say this. Get it fucking together. Because this shit needs to fucking stop. It needs to stop. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Stop the Karening. Stop the 911 threat. Stop it. Just stop. Because you are costing good people their lives. End rant.